Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237, coming at you with another zombie film. And this time I'm doing Quarantine, which I know a lot of people don't like, some people do like, and I do like it. Quite possibly the best horror film this year. Brad Miska, Bloody Disgusting. Can't really remember what else came out in 2008, but I really do like Quarantine. Of course, it is an American remake of the Spanish film Wreck, which came out the year before. I would say Wreck is a better movie, although there are elements of this one that I like more. I do know that Rainbow Rap for Life didn't like this movie. He brought up a good point about the cover, but looking at it now, there is some differences in it. Because, yeah, this is the final shot of the film. But if you look where she is, it's different. There's that weird hand that you don't see in the final shot. It is found footage, which I'm not the biggest fan of found footage movies. I know a lot of people aren't. But this is one that I do like. Now, it's about this sort of news reporter or some kind of reporter played by Jennifer Carpenter, who of course is Deb from Dexter. Her camera guy is Scott. I'm not sure who plays him. They're sort of shadowing this fireman squad for the night, just to see how firemen live, how they do their job. The head fireman who they follow is Jay Hernandez from Hostel. And the beginning of the movie is just them sort of getting a tour of the firehouse, getting to know the firemen, see how things go on. And it's kind of fun. I mean, it feels authentic. You can't really tell anybody's acting, and that's throughout the whole film, so I got to give it props for that. Then they get a call to this apartment building. This elderly woman who's clearly fucked up. And then just the building goes under quarantine. And it's them trying to find ways out. Trying to survive. And that's the movie. It is a zombie movie. Of course, in Wreck, it's demon possession. In this, it's rabies. And I don't think there's really been too many, if any, zombie movies about rabies. So I thought that was kind of neat. And yeah, I'm not the biggest demon possession fan. I think it's kind of hokey, mainly because I don't believe in that stuff. Granted, two of my top 5 favorite movies of all time is Evil Dead 2 and Evil Dead 1. But those movies are just so damn entertaining and fun. But I really do like Quarantine. I like the idea that it's rabies. There are some plot holes, I'll give it that, like, how is it some people can go a while without turning, other people, as soon as they get bit, they turn. So, it is kind of script convenient, I will say that. There is a lot of shaky cam, which kind of sucks. In found footage, I don't mind shaky cam. Like, when I ranted on Automaton Transfusion, that movie, one, just sucks ass. But when real movies have shaky cam, that's terrible. Found footage, it adds, the authenticity. I do like some shots because the whole apartment building is dark as shit, especially when they lose power. So when you have the flashlight of the camera on someone, like there's one, the first woman they go to see is this woman, Mrs. Espinosa, this elderly woman. She's got blood all over her. She's kind of walking weird. It's dark, and when the camera guy turns the light on, it's right on her face, and she lets out this scream. Yeah, these zombies have like high-pitched screams. I like shots like that. For all you 2.5 Men fans, which I'm not. I used to watch it when I was a kid, but if you hate Judith, you get to see horrible things happen to her in this, so that's awesome. Her young daughter, actually, which is that little girl, she was in The Conjuring 2, She actually played young Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, who you're supposed to believe is Talia, but it's Bane. And just more and more people, get attacked and turn. There's actually one guy who's a vet that's treating some of the injured people. And I really like the guy that plays the vet. He really helps sell what rabies is and how it gets spread and how he's like, there's no cure. Like, once you get it, you're screwed. I also have the sequel. This did have one sequel that's not found footage. And it's kind of confusing because of the ending of this, but I'll get into that when I do the sequel. And I will say the last 10 minutes or so are actually pretty fucking creepy. Which, yeah, has this scene. I also have to give credit to the set design, because this is not an apartment building they're in, it's a set they built, but it's very convincing. Like, it actually looks like a real old apartment building. It is frustrating that, the government and outside forces are keeping them locked in. Like, one guy almost gets out and they shoot him. And also, it's people not working together, so everything falls apart. I also... some things are kind of hard to believe. Like, I know rabies doesn't make you super strong, but, the old woman attacks a police officer, and so they bring the officer down. One of the firemen stays up. So they're all talking. In the background, you just see, like, whew, the fireman fall. And I think it's sped up. So you're supposed to believe this old woman pushed this fireman over the railing. I like the scene when the fireman turns, because he has, like, a leg bone sticking out, and he is, like, walking on it. When the little girl turns, that is kind of silly, because, again, it looks like they speed it up. So it's like all these people standing around her while she's doing zombie stuff. It does look kind of silly. But overall, I really do like this movie. And, yeah, maybe the way they treat rabies isn't scientifically accurate. But, to me, it sells it more. It makes it more believable. Because the whole thing with found footage is, one, it makes you feel like you're the person that's shooting. And two, it sort of makes it feel like this is real, not just a movie. So, like, there's things in Rec 2 that go into the demon possession that's just so outlandish, it kind of takes me out of it. But when you make it rabies, you're able to buy it more, at least for me. But I really do like that end sequence with Jennifer Carpenter and the camera guy. When they're up in the attic apartment, you find out that there's all this weird lab stuff. It's a shitty apartment. The thing with the little boy and the trap door breaking the flashlight, that's kind of out of nowhere. But just when all he has is the night vision, and there's, I guess, the tenant, who I guess has been up there for months. He's all emaciated. He's kind of walking around looking for stuff. And all we have is night vision to see it. That builds a lot of tension. I thought that was scary and creepy. But yeah, so with some things being kind of silly looking and maybe scientifically implausible and convenient, I mean, the acting feels natural. The set design looks awesome. I like the look of the shots. It feels very natural lighting. The look of the zombies, or the rabid, I guess. The sound effects. I love the shot when they look down, because it's like a big square staircase. And you see the zombies like poking their heads out, looking up at them and screaming. Love that shot. Yeah, I know it's not a popular remake, which I don't... Like, when I do my remake marathon, I might not include ones that are remakes of foreign films. Ones that are remakes of foreign films, I would say this is the best one. And I actually really do enjoy this movie. I will be doing the sequel at some point, which the thing I like about the sequel, it takes place like 15 minutes after this. But yeah. Also, there's a line where Jennifer Carpenter says, you know, if you swear, we can cut it out in editing. And she says, it just helps if you guys aren't dropping F-bombs everywhere. Which is funny because if you're fans of Dexter, you'll know how much Deb drops F-bombs in that show. So yeah, it might not be the most liked zombie movie or found footage film. I actually know a guy who walked out on this in theaters because he hates found footage. But I really like Quarantine. To me, it's probably the most realistic zombie movie ever made, and I credit it for that. I like how there's no music. Some found footage movies have music, and it sort of kills the realism. The only thing that does that is at the end, there's a scream that's sort of echoey and draws out over the credits. That kind of kills it, but as a whole, I can say I really did enjoy Quarantine. So from Room 237, thank you for watching.